Oh, wait. Hello, my name is David, and I'm a freshman at Harvard. I plan on studying computer science, and I like biology. And on the free time, I like ballroom dancing and occasionally doing a cappella. So something I'm learning a lot from, and is also a rewarding experience, is ballroom dancing. I haven't done it too much in high school, but I was definitely interested in it, and I decided to spend a lot of time into it here. Um, and it's rewarding because it's a community of people that I enjoy hanging out with. They're all supportive, and I mean, Ballroom Dance Club is also not simply just college students. A lot of people outside of Harvard can also join, so it lets me kind of get outside of the bubble where, like, I talk to like real people, like people who live in Boston, having their job and stuff, and just kind of practicing a lot, getting advice, and they're very supportive, and I enjoy hanging out with them. What I like about ballroom especially, which extends to like a lot of other parts of my life, is the idea that you have to invest time to get better and invest time to get value out of something. Because in ballroom, it's at this stage in collegiate level, who's better or not in competition isn't necessarily about who's talented. It's more about how much time you put into dancing. And I remember like first semester, I did ballroom, but on top I did like 8 other clubs. I was comping 2, I was interviewed for 3, and then blah blah blah. And then second semester I focused a little bit more on ballroom, and I did see myself grow and mature more in my dancing. And I think learning that lesson that you really have to put in time to get something valuable, whether it be like class where you just go to lecture, you don't even go to lecture, you just read the lecture notes, like barely pass the class, versus like actually putting in time, going to problems, talking about motivation and intuition behind like the lecture notes. You get more out of it. You can't, and what I realized is that you can't just like kind of cheat through things. In high school you can like cleverly like put yourself as the president of this club and like spend a little time and like BS this paper. You're not getting value out of it. And in ballroom it's very straightforward. You put in the time to get what you want. Transitioning from my high school here, I think probably the hardest part was social stuff. So at high school, you go there for 4 years, you know a lot of people going in, so you kind of stick with the same people, you meet other people, but the thing is, like at the end, everybody knows you and you know everybody, you know everybody's name. You might not be their closest friend, but here at Harvard, when you go to school with like 2,000 people in your grade, which can be like normal for some other people from large schools, but definitely not for me. Not knowing everybody was hard, and also that meant like I had to almost like choose my friends in a sense. And spending time with friends was also hard because you don't see them unless you actually like message them and things like that. Because in high school, most of the time you take the same classes, the hallway's small, but here like it's just too big for you to just coincidentally consistently meet your friends. Which meant that you almost had to like decide on who you want to hang out that night, and sometimes that was kind of hard. Sometimes you want to. It's important to meet new people, but it's also important to hang out with the friends that you are already friends with, because you got to maintain the friendship, and balancing that was difficult for me.
But you feel like now you've gotten much better at it, or?
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people, and I think I have a better idea of who like, I don't want to say like real friends, but like the friends I care about are, especially at Harvard where everybody's kind of like natural state as being friendly, like everybody's kind of like nice to each other. So it's hard to tell, but you learn to kind of see who you care about and who cares about you. What sometimes scares me about Harvard, I guess it's not being Harvard-esque enough. Especially coming from like Korea, Harvard has that very like glorious name. Like you go to Harvard, Harvard produces global leaders, pioneers of fields, people who discover like cures of diseases and things like that. So you almost like give yourself like this like subconscious like pressure to do something cool with your life sometimes. Well, in reality, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily do that. Like they go into, you know, typical jobs that people from other colleges might do, like consulting, finance. That's the only two I can name right now. So the fear is, I guess, kind of matching up the pressure that I'm giving. Because, I mean, yes, I do want to do something cool, but I'm worried that, like, that might suck me to doing things not for the sake of it. Or, and just because it seems like a glorious, like a prestigious thing to do. So I think I definitely would have answered this question, like, differently from, like, maybe before coming to Harvard. Before I might have said something like, oh, I want like a friend who's like really cool, like maybe he's really good at math. Okay, that's not that cool, but that's pretty cool. Or like maybe he he was really good at basketball or something like that. And I like, you know, that's the cool thing, so I want to hang out with him, of course. And at Harvard, what I'm more realizing is that I want a friend who cares about me, that I can care about as well, kind of like the reciprocation kind of thing. Because it seems like, especially when you're so busy, and when you're living with other people, you can get actually like surprisingly lonely. And when you have like so many people that you know and you're living with them, it's hard to catch up. And what's important there is that you have to be considerate about your friend. You have to care about them. You have to like hit them up sometimes, you know, for like a dinner or lunch or something. Taking them for granted is something that I don't want to do, especially because I don't want other people to think that way for me. And so I think what I want from a friend is someone I can care about that also cares about me, rather than just like them being like really good looking or like really good at like biology. Amy, this is the worst interview experience you've ever had.